Welcome to Crafty Hints. If we haven't met, I'm Chantel, and I'm so happy to have you here today. These DIYs are 5 minutes or less and very budget friendly. They all have a patriotic theme, so that could be Memorial Day, July 4th, Veterans Day. All of these can be used in multiple different holidays. Okay, I started out with this wood star from the Dollar Tree, and I used some Waverly Ocean chalk paint, and I just painted the whole star. So just going with that grain will give it the best effect. Next, I pulled out my Cricut, and I did God Bless America in Raustila. That's a font, and you can find it on defont.com. I'll link that down below in the description box. So I'm just going to rub that on there. And it's as easy as that, but you could, use stickers, you could use a paint marker, lots of different ways you could achieve this same look. I also did stars with some white vinyl. And I think when I measured, it was down where the God is. So I only got one star up at the top, but I was happy with that just as well. So this is a simple DIY that you could, set on the shelf and, is just a little bit of pop of those colors. Next, I got some ribbon. I believe I picked this up at Walmart. Might have been Hobby Lobby. So I'm making 3 loops. Each of them, we're going in steps. One's small, one's just a little bit bigger, the next one's a little bit bigger. And then after I make loops, I'm just going to stack them on top of each other. See, simple enough. And now I'll just I'll cut some tails for these bows. So I'm going to stack them smallest to largest. The smallest right there in the front, lining up those seams. And if you wanted to, you could put a zip tie around there. I find just taking a piece of ribbon and tying it around to the back. So I've got the front covering those, and then I just give it a good tight pull here, and that holds them all in place. Now I'm going to dovetail the ends after I get this nice straight end situated. And this is a wired ribbon, so those ribbons will fluff back up and make a nice pretty bow. Now to dovetail, you're going to fold this over and cut from the center out to the outer edge. And I did kind of miss as I'm going here. One end is just not quite right, but that's okay. We're crafting. It's not too serious. We just fix it. So I'm going to take my scissors here and just trim that just a tad. Then we've got those wires, as I said, so we'll just fluff our bow back up. And then we're going to glue it down. It's amazing what just a touch of some ribbon will do to one of your projects. Okay, we're just going to get this situated and then grab the hot glue and get this in place. And here it is sitting on my shelf. Now, these DIYs are part of a playlist. We've all done Patriotic DIYs. I was a host, Brenda's a co-host, as well as Amanda. You're going to want to check out their channels and subscribe because these are some super talented friends. And the playlist link will be below. Next, I started with a quart jar, and then I got these flags at Walmart. I believe Dollar Tree has them also, but they might just be like printed on vinyl. I hadn't seen any, cloth flags, so I grabbed these. think they were under $3. And they are stapled on there tight. Okay, now I rolled it around the other way to make it lie just a little more flat. So just want to take a little bit of time to pry out those staples. And now I'm using some double-sided adhesive. The reason I put this on here, and you really don't have to, but I wanted the top of it to kind of adhere because as a jar tapers up, it may not hold its spot as well. And then I picked up that sand at the Dollar Tree also. The bigger votive I bought off of Amazon with some Amazon votives, but there's also those little tea lights that you could get at Dollar Tree. So now as I pour that sand in, I just want this flag to sit behind it. So tilt your jar back if it didn't quite get the way you want. Just keep messing with it a bit, and then I'm going to fill it more with sand. So super simple project. You could do a couple different sizes also. I would do probably 3 different sizes. You know, you could do a pint jar, then you could do, you know, maybe a leftover jar that you are recycling. 3 of these would be pretty in different sizes. Oh, the pint jar might not quite work with the flag. You might have to play with that just a little bit. I got that ribbon at Walmart, and it just has red and white, maybe blue stars. And I'm just going to tack this in place. And none of this is, you know, causing too much harm to my quart jar. I can reuse it in the future. But it's also just a nice pop of color and bringing in the theme of our holidays. Oh, and that one didn't stay. Glass and hot glue don't love each other. Some of that double-sided tape might have worked better, but it's okay. I held it in place, and when I glue the ribbon to the rest of the ribbon, it does stay in place. You might have got a sneak peek in this when I did the reveal of the last project, but I'll show it right here. All right, let's get to our last DIY here. Now, I found this sign at Michael's. I got it at an end of season. I painted that in ivory, and I'm just showing you here that you want to get in and around every nook and cranny. You know, when they had the $5 boxes, I got several of these. And I just wanted to show, you know, that there's a couple ways you can do them. And I started out with this crimson and painted that in, and you just have to, you know, take your time with it. Paint those letters in, and you can go back, touch up any spots you missed. But then I grabbed my Posca markers. That was more fun and relaxing to me to sit there and just paint these in. So I even went back over it with my red Posca marker over that Hooray later. Because it was such a deep red there, and these are a bit of brighter colors. But you could definitely use your acrylic markers, your chalk, or your acrylic paints, your chalk paint. Again, it's your project. I'm just giving a couple of ideas. Okay, on these stars, I decided I wanted to make them kind of like a flag. So I taped it off, and these stars were not straight on here. One of the stars are kind of tipped just a little bit, but that's okay. Made it work. And just use that tape to get a nice straight edge. All right, just making sure you tap that down. And so I took just from the line across those stars and then down to the bottom. And now I'm kind of doing the points of those stars. And it's so simple, and it's relaxing. It's kind of like those adult color books. So If you enjoy, do you do adult color books? If you do adult color books, let me know down below because I find those super soothing and I have not done those in a while. Okay, now I'm coming in with a black paint marker. A black Sharpie would work as well. And going around this, now I use my Posca paint marker and it definitely worked easier than my thin one did, but I didn't get the same consistency exactly all the way around as I'd like to. So yeah, just let me know which you would do. Would you go around these then with just a Sharpie? Would you go around it with white? I think that the shading just gives this a little pop. Okay, this is some of that same ribbon that I had grabbed at Walmart, and I'm going around the edge of this just to give it a finished look. Now this wood sign does come with the hangers. There's 2 of them, 1 on each side. So super easy to hang it up. You can look for these at Michael's. They have them for just about every holiday. Could be something fun you do with the kids that you bring out year after year, and maybe you all sign the back of it or put the year you made it in the back of it. It can really be, you know, just a family thing. Now I'm just folding this and bringing it to a corner, kind of like hospital corner, you know, you're just folding that over on that you do with your sheets. So I'm just making this turn the corner by folding it over on itself. And we just keep going and do that all the way around. I think these were fun, patriotic, inspired, and I do thank everyone who has served or is serving. I have friends and family members that have, and I'm thankful for each of you that we have all the liberties that we have, and you know that we are free to make all the choices that we are. So I appreciate each of you. All right, just finishing tacking this in place. And we'll be just about done with these projects. I hope you've enjoyed and that you'll give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And don't forget to go to the playlist. You're going to get so much inspiration for these that you can use for 3 holidays or more. And here's how that turned out. And it's a peek at all 3. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to take a little bit of time away for you to do a little bit of crafting and relaxing. Have a blessed day.